everyone, my name is Aarti and you're watching HW News. More than a month after reserving its interim order in the Pegasus Snooping Case, the Supreme Court finally today announced its order in the case. The Supreme Court appointed an independent committee comprising 3 technical experts who will be supervised by retired Judge Justice R V Raveendran. The committee has been tasked to conduct a thorough inquiry into the allegations of use of Pegasus Spyware for unauthorized surveillance by the government. A bench headed by Chief Justice of India R V Ramana said that the committee will inquire, investigate and determine whether Pegasus spyware was used to snoop upon Indian citizens. What steps did the government of India take? Were there any inquiries conducted post 2019 revelations regarding Pegasus spyware, and whether it was the government of India which bought the Pegasus spyware and used it to snoop upon its own citizens? A very important order has been given by the Supreme Court today. The Pegasus Snooping row has already kicked up a political storm, with much of the monsoon session of the country being disrupted over the issue. But the issue is beyond just a political slugfest between ruling party and the opposition. The issue is about the citizens of India and their rights. That right to privacy is a fundamental right, and snooping of citizens means breaching that fundamental right. It is important to find out who is responsible for this. Today, the Supreme Court of India has asked the committee to submit its report within 2 months. Additionally, the Supreme Court had some very pertinent observations for the government of India, which has remained rather stubborn over the entire Pegasus issue. Even the Home Minister called it a conspiracy by anti-national elements. So let us discuss the order in detail in today's video. But before that, at HW News, our job is to bring you news in an unadulterated manner, without any bias or propaganda. We spend time, we spend resources and money on the research and production. But to continue doing our job, we require your support. Watch our shows, help us to increase our reach. And if you think our work is worth it, then do consider subscribing to us. Go to our website www.hwnews.in/support and you will find the different subscription options that we offer. So support us, because when you subscribe to us, we get stronger and your voice gets stronger. Now let us talk about the Supreme Court's judgment in the Pegasus spyware case. But before that, a quick recap of the Pegasus controversy. The Pegasus controversy erupted on July 18th after The Wire and several other international publications published reports about the mobile numbers which were potential targets of the Pegasus spyware. There were 50,000 of them. According to NSO, the Israeli firm that developed the spyware, the service is only given to governments. Thus, questions were raised whether the government of India ordered surveillance of its own citizens. 40 Indian journalists, political leaders like Rahul Gandhi, election strategist Prashant Kishore, former Election Commission of India member Ashok Lavasa are reported to be in the list of the targets as per The Wire. 2 sitting ministers were also on the list. Several petitions were thereafter filed before the top court seeking an independent probe into the matter. The petitioners include Advocate ML Sharma, journalist N. Ram and Shashikumar, CPIM Rajya Sabha MP John Brittas, 5 Pegasus targets including Paranjay Guha Thakurta, SNM Abdi, Prem Shankar Jha, Rupesh Kumar Singh and Ipsa Shatakshi, social activist Jagdeep Chokar, Narendra Kumar Mishra and the Editors Guild of India. These are the petitioners in this case. Now, the Supreme Court today set up a 3-member technical expert committee which will be overseen by retired Supreme Court Judge Justice R V Raveendran. He will be assisted in this task by Mr. Alok Joshi, who is a former IPS officer 1976 batch, Dr. Sudeep Oberoi, who is a chairman subcommittee in International Organization of Standardization and International Electrotechnical Commission and Joint Technical Committee. Moreover, the 3-member technical committee includes Dr. Navin Kumar Chaudhary, who is a professor, cybersecurity and digital forensics and Dean of National Forensic Sciences University, which is located in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, Dr. Prabhakaran P, who is a professor, School of Engineering, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Amritpuri in Kerala, and Dr. Ashwin Anil Gumaste, who is an Institute Chair Associate Professor of Computer Science and Engineering of IIT Bombay. Now, the court, while passing the order, made important observations. The court started off by quoting George Orwell from the novel 1984. It said, and I quote, "If you want to keep a secret, you must also hide it from yourself." The court said that the petitioners have raised Orwellian concern of surveillance in their petitions. It said that indiscriminate spying of citizens can't be allowed in a democracy except in accordance with the law. But the spying as was raised in the case also affects the freedom of the press, which is a vital pillar of the democracy, and also has a potential chilling effect on the freedom of speech that will affect the democracy. Now here is how the court judgment explains it very beautifully. And I want you to hear this. So I quote the court, "It is undeniable that surveillance and the knowledge that one is under the threat of being spied on can affect the way an individual decides to exercise his or her rights. Such a scenario might result in self-censorship. This is of particular concern when it relates to the freedom of the press, which is an important pillar of democracy. Such chilling effect on the freedom of speech is an assault on the vital public watchdog role of the press, which may undermine the ability of the press to provide accurate and reliable information." Now, the court said that it initially had reservations about the petition, but given the serious allegations, it gave ample time to the Government of India to respond since 2019. However, the government, instead of throwing more light on the topic, it decided to file a limited affidavit and was stuck on forming its own committee to look into the case. That, instead of helping the court to understand the government's point of view, it issued a vague denial of the allegations. The court also noted it has never pushed the government to disclose any info that may have serious national security related implication. However, despite several assurances and opportunities, the Government of India chose to file only limited affidavit in the matter. In a stinging indictment, the court also observed that just because the government has raised the issue of national security, it does not mean that court will act as a mute spectator in the matter, that the state does not get a free pass every time the specter of national security is raised. The court said that national security is not a bugbear that just by mentioning it, the court will shy away. And that although the court will not encroach upon the national security domain, the state cannot prohibit it from calling a judicial review. It said that, and I quote, "The government has to plead and prove the facts which indicate that the information sought must be kept secret, which if divulged would affect national security concerns. They must justify the stand that they take before the court. The mere invocation of national security by the state does not render the court a mute spectator. This means the government cannot just refuse to provide any information under the cover of national security. It also has to provide a justification of how national security will be impacted if the information sought is placed in the public domain. In retrospect, this is very important from the point of view of several cases." Now remember the Rafale case. Petitioners had approached the Supreme Court over the corruption allegation in the purchase of Rafale fighter jets from France. However, the government then too had cited the national security excuse and submitted details in a sealed cover. The court also noted that the government did not provide any specific denial based on facts of the allegations leveled by the petitioners. There is only a vague and omnibus denial by the government which is not sufficient. So, three important issues the court raised in this judgment. First, allegations of breaching of right to privacy of citizens is serious. All those who say, "What is privacy in today's era?" This is for them. As the court said, when citizens are snooped upon, they might exercise self-censorship, which is particularly undesirable when it comes to profession that I am in, because journalists hold the fourth pillar of democracy by keeping all of you informed. Second, the government has been unhelpful when it came to disclosing information. The government, despite being accountable and answerable to people, has been steadfast that it will not file regular affidavit in the Supreme Court, and it is also hell-bent on only disclosing information to an expert committee formed by itself. Third point, the bogey of national security cannot be raised time and again to deny information. And even if it is the case, the government has to provide satisfactory justification for it. As I said, the case had political implications too. The Supreme Court verdict has given a new lease of life to the opposition, which has gone silent on the issue. Interestingly enough, BJP MP Subramanian Swamy too tweeted after the Supreme Court order and said that setting up a Supreme Court committee on the Pegasus espionage case is like a Watergate. Cover-up is more harmful for the Modi government than the transparency, which the government has failed to demonstrate so far. So my advice, minimize your losses. This is what Subramanian Swamy said. Journalist Ravish Kumar also said that this decision of the Supreme Court is a lesson for the government looking into the pockets and bedrooms of the public. Well, the committee has 2 months now to probe and present a report on the matter. What do you think about the Supreme Court order? Do let us know in the comment box below. For more news and updates, you can log on to www.hwnews.in. Now, before I end this video, if you like this video, please give us a super thanks. Like this video, comment below it and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon as well. And if you're watching this video on Facebook, please do like our page and share this video to as many people as possible. Thank you so much.